KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
All right, everybody. This is KUM Sports. I'm Jason Salas, and I'm joined by a good friend of mine, a longtime member of Guam's athletic community, Leonard Calvo, who has been instrumental in bringing forth something that we're very, very proud of here on Island. The fact that we have got double digits as far as the number of athletes who are playing at the collegiate level, playing at a very, very high level, really, really good schools, really competitive conferences. And rugby is a sport where young athletes are getting a chance to exhibit their skills and get a really, really good education. So, Len, half a day, man. It's always good to see you, my friend.
Jace, how's it going?
Pretty good, man. And you are a parent of one of those children and everything. Of course, your son playing at Dartmouth, no less.
Yeah, I think the thing with rugby, there's always been college rugby's been around for a long time, right? So I mean, I played college rugby. I played with a bunch of guys from Guam. In the late '80s, early '90s, and guys played before me. Guys played after me, but the significance is that now it's being considered. It's in some schools. It's achieved varsity status. Before it was a club, right? So now it's varsity status. So schools are allocating resources to it, scholarships, admission slots, financial aid. You name it. So there's different. So that is a game changer for everyone because your rugby club went from being just a club that got together, play rugby, practice a couple of times a week, and partied on the weekends after the game. Now it's more serious. It's being treated like a varsity sport. So, you're going to have to practice, 4 or 5 times a week at least. And you have games, travel, all those different things. And so now it's a little bit more serious. So there's a lot of opportunities for mainly for girls in our girls in rugby.
Exactly. Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up because it is a sport that is played at a very high level by both genders. It's also not a regional thing because, like when Jim Brown played lacrosse at Syracuse and everything, that was largely like an East Coast and like Northeast sport. I mean, like rugby is being played at a high level, like across the country.
Correct. Yeah. There's pockets of rugby. Most of the schools that the kids are looking at now are on the East Coast, just because those are more of the schools that have the rugby as a varsity status. I mean, as a varsity status. So, and then you also look at there's different things you got to look at when your kid's going to play rugby. It's the first thing is just a community. Your kid's going to go to college, and one thing I always hear from parents, and when they send their kids to college, they're homesick, they don't have any friends, they're having a hard time. But if you send them to school and they're on a rugby team, at least they have a community. They're doing something, with like-minded people, and they're training, and that's just the first thing. And then you start throwing in scholarships, financial aid, admission slots to some of the schools. And when you look at the Ivy Leagues in particular, there's four Ivy League schools that women's rugby has varsity status, so they can get you admitted to these schools: Princeton, Brown, Dartmouth, and Harvard.
And Ali Ada played for Dartmouth and did very, very well there.
Oh yeah. Ali Ada played at Dartmouth, and she won 2 national championships. Started, I think, she missed one. I think she started 4 years or 3 years out of the 4 because there was a COVID year, and she was captain of the team her senior year. And won the national championship. So. That's playing at the highest level for girls and women and winning the national championship. So it's a big deal. Michaela Toigui's in her freshman year now, and she's at Brown, and she was recruited to play rugby for Brown, and she's starting I think she's 2 games into her season. She started both their games, the first 2 games, and so that's good. So we have then there's a lot of girls playing in all throughout the East Coast. And it's just so much opportunity. I'm talking to some people that know college rugby, and then they're saying there's no reason we can't send, 5 or 6 girls a year to these schools and get them, on rugby scholarships.
And part of the thing, you can't just put a bunch of Guam kids on a plane and expect them to be picked up. I mean, they earned those spots. So what do you think got us there in terms of, because it takes obviously work ethic, which we've got as Guamanians, and God-given ability, but also parental support and strong organization, and the high schools have to have competitive programs and everything like that. So it really is a sum of all parts.
Yeah, it's a sum. I think we have a good middle school program, touch program, or flag program that's getting the kids the skills, and then they go straight into high school tackle, right? Which is it's sevens though, but when the girls are going to their colleges, they're playing mostly 15. So, a lot of them have made real smooth transitions from the sevens rugby to 15s over there. But I think the most common denominator with these kids is they want to do it. First they're student athletes, so they have to be good at school and doing focusing on their schoolwork, because otherwise they wouldn't even be looked at by these schools if they didn't have the grades at first. And then the rugby ability. Most of them have been playing rugby for 7 years if they played in middle school. So that gives them a leg up on most of the other kids that they're competing with for these scholarships or spots on the team. And then if you look at the teams, there's a lot of international players. Players from England, Hong Kong, Singapore. They're from all over, right? And they've figured it out that they can use the rugby to get them into these prestigious Ivy League schools or just colleges we should be really focusing on that for some of our players, because we have the talent. We just got to focus on helping the kids get into know about how to apply for college and how to get seen and how to just get on the radar.
Mm-hmm. And then you've got guys like Zach Pangilinan, who Guam is really, really proud of, that has made it to even further than that at the next level, and he's someone that these young athletes can aspire to, because he's literally made a living out of it.
Yeah, you got Zach Pangilinan who came up from Guam. I think he came up through the club system in the U.S., made the U.S. national team, and still playing professional rugby now in the state in Houston. And then the guys from Guam have been going to play rugby in the States a lot. You got Steve Sablon. He made the U.S. U20 team. You got we've sent a lot of kids to St. Mary's. In Moraga, which is a great program. One of the, Danilo Rapata's played on a national champion team. We had Josh Lujan and Alex Shinahara, Tonu Nicholas, Jake Benito. They all played on the teams. I guess what I'm thinking about is that I'm looking at how it's going to get an education for free for some of our kids, right? Because I don't know if St. Mary's, if they give scholarships or how that works, but I know that a lot of these other schools on the East Coast are doing it, And then if you get into some of the schools, they have real generous financial aid programs. So, the schools like Dartmouth, Harvard, Brown, Princeton, if the parents make household incomes less than 120,000, tuition's free.
Yep.
So, that's one thing that I don't know if a lot of people know that.
So Len, what are some of the intangibles you think about the Guam athlete, and how we are brought up, and the way we're taught to to compete, but also to be respectful and to have sportsmanship and everything like that? What makes that a distinct part of these athletes being given the opportunity to compete at the next level in college?
Well, if they start playing it when they're in middle school, and so they're picking up the skills, right? The passing, they know the game, and then we're not the biggest people out there, right? But we have heart, and they're very coachable, so a lot of them, they go on their teams and then they become leaders, they're in the leadership group out on the team once they progress through it. So
no major egos, no divas, no
well, there's a lot of divas, and but to get the kids that had to go through there, like I know some of the kids from the boys, right, from that played. My son, and I also know like Kekoa, Tenorio Tovis and Gavin, right? These are just great kids, right, that took it upon themselves to to seek these opportunities out and to get them, and they all, good students, and that's important, right? That academics actually come first, and there's not many kids that where people that were they're not going to consider their academics first. So for college, you have to be, in the you got to be a student first.
Hence the
Concentrate
term
on that.
student athlete, correct? Yeah.
Um,
Okay, so let me ask you though, because I know one thing, and I've always had so much admiration for your family about this is the trait of being able to give back, right? And you don't want just your son and that generation and Ali and everybody just to kind of be okay. Well, we made it, and then like it kind of fizzled out there. You don't want them to be flashes in the pan. You want to be able to give back and to inspire the next generation of rugby players that come up. So how are in what have you seen as far as what they're doing to younger players who might reach out to them and say, how did you make it? How did you prepare? Who did you talk to? And kind of like build that network.
Yeah. I still coach rugby at FD, right? And so I tell my kids all the time, the guys I'm playing, I go, do you want to play college rugby? Do you need help? And there's 50 kids on the team, and maybe 5 of them say, okay, I want to do that, and maybe 2 of them really want to do it or go the next step. So it really depends on the kid, the parent or the coach or the advisor can only do so much. So the kid really has to want to do it, and if they don't want to do it, then there's no use. There's no use trying, because their heart's not in it. They'll quit. And the one thing, you look at a lot. You gotta be a student, but you gotta love the sport, and you gotta love doing. You want to get better, and there's a lot of the reasons why we want them to do it is we want them to better themselves, because to have this opportunity to go off island and get a college scholarship, that's huge for most people. And then you got they're going to come back. Hopefully, they're going to come back to Guam and spread the knowledge. We have at FD, we have Josh Lujan and Alex Shinahara, who played 4 years at St. Mary's, came back, and they're spreading the knowledge that they picked up over there. It's a high quality program with, that has had really great coaching. They're coming here and they're spreading it to our team, and so to Father Dueñas. So it's just there's so many reasons, so many positives out of why they should do it. Whether it's the community, you got a scholarship, you're part of a community, you get to see the country, you get to learn a bunch of stuff and come back and share it. So that's what we want. We want the kids to and then also to just push their rugby career to as far as they can go, and be the best they can be.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Like Len, and I know, like when I was growing up, I mean, it was almost an impossible dream that if you wanted to really make it like at that next level, you would have to uproot your family and make major sacrifices and take on possibly hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt and everything. But people like yourself and the infrastructure and the system that you've had a major hand in, is actually giving kids like that very chance and everything. It's a fantastic evolution of sports on Guam.
Yeah,
So
I mean, it's you just think about it. The three kids that I know, you got Ali, you got Matthias, and you got Michaela. They all came through Bishop Baumgartner middle school program, played the 3 years there, played in high school. Ali at a academy, Matthias at FD, and Michaela at academy and at Notre Dame later. So, that's amazing that we had those 3 kids play in Ivy League schools and make the impact that they did. Mm-hmm. And then the kids from over at Mount St. Mary's, we had a whole bunch of them play there. Halana's there, and that's I watched one of the games last year between Mount St. Mary's and Dartmouth, the girls, and Halana still does the kind of stuff that she did here in the 15. Just there's more players, but she was an incredible player. And then you have Hannah Rhodes, Rojas Rhodes. So she's doing well too. I think she's playing her 5th year. So the future is bright. We just have to inform people how to that the opportunity is out there, and let the ones that want to pursue it, because we got the talent. We just need to be pointed in the right direction.
All right, for sure. So that's Leonard Calvo, one of the many people who is greatly contributed to the competitive level, and the fact that that young people who, like he said, who do have the talent and who have the drive and are willing to make the sacrifices to get to the next level, they can actually make that dream come true. So Len, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Jason. Okay.
All right. Have a good one.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.